friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today it is like really baby
Like right after I start filming.
round 2. Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It is fall, and I don't know about you, but I am a complete mood reader, and the fall just brings out all the spooky season, and I absolutely love reading paranormal romances in fall, along with like school settings or educational books or like college settings or college profession books. And I just absolutely love mystery books this time of the year as well. So I have about 13 books to share with you guys that are all really great recommendations for mysteries. We have like horror mysteries and cozy mysteries, and they are just all so wonderful. So I can't wait to share them with you. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. All right, the first book I have to share with you guys is 2 Parts Sugar, 1 Part Murder by Valerie Burns. And this one, other than the cover being so cute, is actually about Maddie. And Maddie is a social media influencer, and she's actually live streaming her wedding, which goes horribly wrong because her groom is a no-show. So without knowing how to actually pick up the pieces from that disaster, she actually gets a surprise inheritance, which she absolutely is all for. Who else would not be for that? So she actually gets a surprise inheritance, but in order to get this inheritance, she actually has to move. She has to live in her great aunt's house, take care of a 250-pound English Mastiff, and she has to run her great aunt's bakery for an entire year. And Maddie has no idea how to take care of a dog and definitely has no idea how to bake a cake. So this is going to be a crazy journey for her. And then that isn't even the worst of it, because the mayor of this little town is actually fatally stabbed, and no other than Maddie's fingerprints are on the knife that's sticking out of his chest. So this one I think is just so cozy and so nice to read at this time of the year. It kind of gets you in that little fall vibe. And it also has a second one that's already out as well. Keeping with the cozy mysteries is Arsenic and Adobo by Mila+Ains. So this one is another one of the series that I have told you guys about before. This one is a Tia Rosie's Kitchen Mysteries. This one has a cute little dog on it as well. And this one follows Lila, and she has to move home after a really nasty breakup. And she decides that she is going to help and work at her Tia Rosie's kitchen restaurant that is currently failing. So she's going to help out. She's going to be around her meddling aunts, and she is just going to do whatever she has to do to kind of get her life back on track. And then she's actually caught arguing with a food critic that happens to be her ex-boyfriend that just recently dumped her. And so everybody in the restaurant sees this and sees how nasty of an argument they have. And then this food critic actually ends up dead right after their argument. So she is suspect number 1. So her and her aunties and her little doggy and her best friend that is a barista are actually going to solve this case and get her name out off of the suspect list. But she soon finds that she is actually also in danger. So I can't stress this enough. This is such a cute and cozy little mystery. Another mystery that kind of reminds me of Nancy Drew, which I absolutely love Nancy Drew. This is Charlotte Isles is Not a Detective by Katie Siegel. This one is actually about a kid detective. It actually follows a TikTok web show starring a 20-something former kid detective who is coaxed out of retirement for one last case. So this one follows Charlotte, and she is actually a kid detective. She is really, really good at what she does. She is kind of a minor celebrity, and then in middle school she kind of just decides that maybe being a detective isn't what she wants to do anymore. So she puts up her little blue phone in her garage/office and calls it good for right now. And now she is 25. She's living with her mom. She's trying to look up for a job. She doesn't really know what to do with her life, and her love life is virtually non-existent. So she decides that she's just and then all of a sudden her little blue phone actually starts to ring that is in her little garage office. So she decides to pick it up. She's asked to help solve this case, and she decides that maybe being a detective one last time isn't all that bad. But she is finding dead bodies and missing persons and villains who actually find her as a threat now that she's older and not just this little kid. So she is having a lot more use for her detective abilities and skills now that she's older and actually has to do a little more to get by. Another one that is really good is The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. So The Agathas actually came out last year, and the second book just came out this year, which I have not gotten to yet. But this one actually follows a couple girls. So this one follows Alice, and Alice has a basketball star boyfriend, Steve, and he actually dumps her. But these are people of wealth. So Alice actually disappears for 5 days, and nobody knows where she is, what she's doing, if she's hurt, and then she just magically reappears. So nobody knows. But now there is Brooke, and Brooke is Steve's new ex-girlfriend and Alice's old best friend. And now she has been dumped by Steve as well, and now she is gone missing. But nobody knows where she is. And so Alice and her tutor Iris, who needs the money, and she decides that she could use Alice's help of solving this case because she was once friends with Brooke and ex-girlfriends to Steve, that they could solve the case and Iris can get the reward money for having information. So Alice and Iris take it upon themselves to use the works of Agatha Christie's and solve this case of where Brooke is. This one has been said to be so good, and I can't wait to jump into it, and I'm hoping to get to it very, very soon. So that one is a top priority. Another one that is everywhere that everybody loves, and I highly recommend is Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. This one follows a group of 4 retirement home friends who absolutely love true crime podcasts and true crime mysteries, and they like cold cases. So this one actually follows those 4 friends, and they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club because they meet once a week on Thursdays to discuss true crimes that are happening right now. So they actually meet, and then they find out that a local developer is actually killed. So they take it upon themselves to catch this killer before he strikes again. This one is the first one in the series. There's so many to this series now. There's like 4, but so good. Another one that I read and I thought was so good and kept me super intrigued the entire time is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. This one, I had no idea who the killer was the entire time. And actually, for most of the book, you don't even know who actually died. So this one is a New Year's reunion in the remote Scottish wilderness, the beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider. One of these friends is a murderer, and one won't make it out alive. This book was so good. Lucy is really good at what she does with murder mysteries, and all of them are so good about like keeping keeping you on your toes. Like, this book I couldn't get enough of just because I wanted to know who died, and I wanted to know which one of the friends did it, and I wanted to know all of their dirty little secrets because they all have dirty little secrets. All right, next one is actually a YA book, I believe, and this one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This book sounds so good. I have not gotten to read this one yet, but there's, I believe, 3 books in this series already, but everybody seems to really, really enjoy it. So this one follows a prep school, Ellingham Academy, and the owner, or I guess the owner of this academy, his wife and his daughter actually were kidnapped, and the only clue that was left was a riddle with a synonym name, or a riddle and the pseudonym Truly Devious at the end of it. And this has been the greatest unsolved crime in history. So here comes Stevie, who is in love with true crimes and cold cases, and she actually gets accepted to this academy. So she decides that what she is going to do is solve this cold case and be like the hero of this academy, until she gets kind of taken over by the schoolwork and the school and the people, and kind of gets too busy to think about it. And then all of a sudden, Truly Devious makes another surprise appearance and actually has a dead body to follow. So she is going to jump right into trying to solve this murder and this case and this cold case. And we'll just see what happens and if anybody else winds up missing or murdered. And it just sounds so, so good. It sounds crazy that there's still a murderer that is using that Truly Devious. I wonder if it's someone new or like a copycat, or if it's the same person. It's super curious. Another one is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. So this one is this one is definitely an adult book. So this one follows Chloe Davis, and she was actually 12 years old when 6 local girls in her town in Louisiana actually wind up missing. And it's this whole thing, like, people are so terrified and scared. And by the end of this summer, her father actually confesses to these missing girls and the murders. And now it is 20 years later, and we are following Chloe, and she is a psychiatrist, and she's getting ready to get married. Then a teenage girl actually goes missing, and then another and another. All of those feelings and all that trauma from that summer when she was 12 just come flooding back at her, and she doesn't know what else to do other than kind of try to untangle this mystery herself. But the problem is that she's seeing a lot of parallels to these new missing girls as she is to the ones from her childhood, and she's not knowing where those lines are blurring. So she might actually catch herself another killer by the end of this book. I cannot wait to jump into this one. I saw this one everywhere. It kind of gave me the same vibes as the TV show Prodigal Son that is on Hulu, and I absolutely love that show. And it kind of gives me the same premise and the same feel as this book. So I can't wait to jump into that one and read it. But I think it'll be closer to like winter kind of a vibe for me. But I still really want to read it. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson is another really, really great mystery that I've heard nothing but amazing things about. This one follows a pretty popular high school senior named Andy, and she was murdered by her boyfriend, Sal, who then killed himself. So this was the only thing anybody could talk about for years and years, and now it is 5 years later, and Pip still sees how this tragedy haunts her town. So now that she's a senior, she takes it upon herself to kind of dig back into the detective's case and kind of see if she can put anything together. She's going to use this as her senior project. She wants to kind of cast doubt on the investigation and that Sal is the murderer. and then killed himself. And as she digs into the case, she finally discovers some secrets that might prove Sal innocent, but the lines from the past and the present begin to blur, and someone in Fairview actually doesn't want Pip to uncover any answers, so she's putting herself in danger as well, and the murderer might come after her. This one has gotten nothing but great reviews, like most of Holly Jackson's books, so I think that one's going to be just absolutely wonderful. Delicious Monsters by Leslie Sambury has been on so many of my TBRs because I just so want to get to it. I absolutely love this cover, like where she's like the trees and there's another one in there. This one is actually a YA mystery and it's so beautiful. So this one follows Daisy, and Daisy sees dead people. She kind of keeps her paranormal ability secret, and then she has an unexpected breakup, so she takes this big leap of chance and goes with her mother to this little manor that her mother buys. But it turns out that this mansion has a lot of dark and hidden secrets, so this mansion might not be her paranormal abilities might not be up to actually deal with the ghosts and the secrets that lurk in the walls of this mansion, along with the secrets that she is uncovering about her mother. And then we have a dual timeline in this book, which I absolutely love. I think they're so much fun. It just adds to the mystery, and you're bouncing back and forth trying to figure things out. This one follows Brittany as well, and she is 10 years into the future, and she is has a haunted web series where she does like true crimes, and she wants to actually expose her mother for lying about this mansion. So she actually decides that her new series on her webcast is going to be about this mansion, and she's going to try to figure out what happened to the black girl 10 years prior and kind of expose her mother as a liar and show that the mansion never did anything for her mom. So this is going to follow her, but as she kind of does this investigation and tries to figure out what happened to Daisy, she's starting to figure out that maybe they have a lot of different secrets, and she doesn't know if she wants to bring Daisy's story to life or her own story, and we're just going to kind of bounce back and forth and see how both of them deal with this scary haunted mansion. I think that is going to be such a wonderful book to read at this time of the year, like the haunted house kind of status. Another one I had to add to this list is Finley Donovan is Killing It by El Casimano. This one is also one of those books that I don't hear any bad things about this book. So this follows a single mother. She's overwhelmed. She's a novelist writing a book that she hasn't even started, and she actually has to meet with her publisher and go over the plot to this story that she hasn't started. So they're having lunch. She's telling her agent the plot to her new book about a contract killer, and after this lunch she's actually approached and offered a job as a contract killer because the overhearing person actually thought that she was being serious and it was actually her job to be a killer. So she wants to get rid of her problem husband and make her life a lot easier. So Finley actually takes this job, thinks that it's going to help her out a lot. She needs a new nanny. She's a single mom. Or then she soon discovers that being in a real life murder mystery is a lot more complicated than being in a fictional one that she has wrote herself. This one is, oh goodness, I can't say anything bad about Finley Donovan because they're just so good. Everybody loves them so much. How to Find a Missing Girl by Victoria Loscoke. I'm saying her name wrong, but there it is. I know I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. So this one I actually just picked up not long ago. I didn't even know this was coming out. It is a YA mystery. And this one follows One missing girl is unthinkable, 2 is unforgettable. So a year ago, it says that the cheerleader Stella vanished and devastating her younger sister Iris, who launched her own investigation, but she managed to scare off the police's only lead, and they told her if she meddled again before she was 18 that she was actually going to get jail time. But then Iris's ex-girlfriend Heather also goes missing just after dropping the polarizing last episode of her true crime podcast all about Iris's sister Stella. This time, nothing will stop Iris and her sleuthing agency from solving these disappearances. But with a suspicious detective watching her every move, an enemy turned friend turned maybe more to contend with, and only 30 days until her 18th birthday, it's a race against the clock for Iris to solve the most dangerous case of her life. So this one, I don't know, this one sounds so good. I think I'm really going to love it, and I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this. This is one of those books that I think would be even a great present just to give someone for Christmas that kind of likes mysteries and kind of wants to jump into them, given that it is a YA mystery. So it's going to be a little simpler to read, a little more fast paced. I just think this is going to be so good, like following Iris and her missing sister and trying to solve that case, and then bringing up all those same feelings with her ex-girlfriend getting taken, and it just seems like somebody doesn't want anybody to know what happened to Stella, and they're just going to take whoever has a problem with keeping their little mouths shut. So I can't wait to read this. I love the idea of Iris's ex-girlfriend doing a podcast on this true crime. Like, it just sounds so good and so like in the time right now. Well, all right, you guys, that is all 13 books. Several of them go further into their series. They go into trilogies. A lot of them have more than one book out, which is super exciting. So if you guys find something you love, you can just continue on in that series and follow those characters and get more mysteries and solve them. And I love how mysteries make you think. So with further ado, I am going to sign off, and you guys can just start reading and enjoying your fall. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!